that whole FSBO market and how we're marketing that now?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, given the lower inventory on auctions, wholesalers we pivoted to. The other thing we're doing now is, for sale by owner. It's easy to systematize this in Zillow. I basically pick counties that we want to target, that we have boots on the ground and potentially the rehab as well, and not just wholesale. And every Friday I go in, I look at the filters that we have set for the for sale by owner. They identify the properties that meet those filters for us. I look at them if they need work or not. So if they're already fixed up, I'm not going to market to someone there. Obviously, they're going to get top dollar. I can't come and sell their property. Yeah. So I'll quickly look at it, see if this house is dated or needs repairs. If so, I put that property to a Google sheet. I say VA, run the numbers on it, and let me know what you think.
Right.
We then do our second kind of filter due diligence process, and then you pick up the phone call and make an offer.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. And a lot of these we hit that we look at are in rural areas too. So why don't you get in a little bit how rural areas have been like our bread and butter, how we've really done well, and how maybe even how we do it differently with our marketing. Because it's different marketing to, into a city as compared to it is to these rural areas where you have older populations.
Yeah. So, we don't, let's use Charlotte, North Carolina as an example. Everybody's in Charlotte, overly competitive. I'm talking from a real estate investor perspective. Everyone's marketing, getting the same message. They're chasing the same list with the same message, essentially. What Paul and I do is, we're not marketing that way anyway.
Right.
What we do is, we don't want Charlotte. Let's go where there's less competition. So we're hitting cities outside of Charlotte, Gastonia, Concord, Salisbury, Kannapolis, etc., where we call them second tier markets. They're like extended suburbs. And since COVID happened,
they've been great.
More and more people are moving into these rural areas, and they're continuing to lift property values more so than in the urban areas.
Right.
So there's a lot more demand coming that way as well. So we're starting to see more deal flows from wholesalers and FSBO leads, and then auctions as well in these sites. And for the properties that we want to wholesale in these marketplaces, you got to use different marketing techniques. Yeah. In the past, you might just put something on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or email your list. But in these more rural markets, you're going to have less buyers. So you got to get a little bit more creative. I've sold houses in rural markets through newspaper ads.
That's been big for us.
It has been, yeah. Believe it or not, people still read them in these rural markets. And then
older population, guys, as we get a lot of older population in these rural markets, and they still read the paper. Where people our age, we're just going online to look for this stuff. Sorry.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. And then the other aspect is we don't just focus on online marketing in those areas. A good example is we sold a house in West Texas. I think the town population was less than like 2,000 people, if I recall correctly. We basically, since we own it, we bought that one at auction. We took it down, and I actually emailed, or I had my VA find all the local agents and email them saying, hey, we're selling this for sale by owner. However, we pay buyer's agent commission, and bring your deals. And that's another way that we sell properties that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge because you think about it from a typical investor, they're wholesaling to other investors. Well, investors want a cut, right? They want to reduce price. They don't want to pay top dollar. So we, a lot of times, will teach you how to go to the end buyer, as long as the property's in a condition, right? If it's a train wreck, you can't do that, guys. But if it's something that is half decent and somewhat livable, why not sell it to an end user or end buyer who's going to pay a lot more, going to pay a premium in comparison to what an investor's going to pay.
Yep.
So, and you got all kinds of different options with that. You could just list on the MLS if you want to. Mike Marcus listed, we have one in Charleston, Tennessee that we're marketing right now, and he's done the same thing, I think, in that one, right? Where you're hitting all the agents and getting a bunch of showings that way, which is really just as effective almost as it is going on the MLS.
Correct, yeah.
You get the right agents out there. People want to be in those rural areas. So
I'm saving us 3% by having our VA email all the agents out there saying, hey, do you have any buyers in this? So we essentially, it's like listing on the MLS because we hit everyone in that area, but we're saving 3% on the sell side.
Totally, which is important. Any way you can keep building your profit margin is super important.
Yeah.
Rentals, we picked up rentals using the same method. Rentals, probably using the auction method, you probably pick up, it's easier to pick up rentals, I think, than it is to pick up anything.
Absolutely.
Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And even on occasion, picked up an Airbnb. I have one up in the Poconos right now that's an Airbnb, and it was run as a VRBO, and for some reason they lost it to foreclosure. But you'll find those deals in those markets as well. So I think that's That's pretty key. You know, looking at the auctions, I think primarily you're going to sell to buy and hold guys, right?
Yep.
If you're going to be wholesaling these deals for the most part. But you'll occasionally find deals where you get a deep discount and you're still able to sell to somebody who's going to do a fix and flip on that market.